Hi everyone, it's Tammy with the Frou-frou Studio. Welcome back to another episode of Relax, Revisit, Remake. If you are new here, welcome. This is a weekly challenge that I am kind of giving myself, and I'm hoping that some of you will craft along with me as I am revisiting some of the ephemera pieces that I have made in the past and remaking them just to kind of remind myself of things that I've made previously that I may have forgotten about, or that I feel like I don't make enough, and I really like them. Just kind of rehash things that I've done. I think we all get into the process of doing things and the repetitiveness of making a journal that we forget about some of the more unique items or the things that we really like when we're putting a journal together. So that's kind of what this series is about. So today we are going to be working with coin holders. These are readily available anywhere that sells coin collecting materials. I ordered mine off Amazon. You get a ton of them. I think there's like 100 that you can get for just a few dollars. And so, yeah, I just replenished my stock. So I'm going to show you guys some of the things I do with them. And then, be creative. Come up with ideas that you can use in your journals. And I hope that I can inspire you to make today. So, materials. You're going to need some coin holders, of course. If you don't have these or don't want to invest in them, I'm also going to show you how to make some on your own that you can use. And then I'm going to give you some different options for what you can put inside of them to decorate them up. So, if you do not have these and you want to make something similar with a similar look, it's very easy. This is a 1.5" circle punch, of course. If you don't have a punch, you can use a die. If you have, circle dies that you can cut 1.5". You can cut the circle any way, but 1.5" matches what is on the actual coin folder. These are for $50, by the way. I didn't mention that. They, of course, come for any size of coin, but these are for $50. And then just take your cardstock, and these are two inches wide. So if you take your cardstock, you cut it into a strip that's 2 inches wide, and then if you put your circle punch in here and you put it all the way in and poke your hole, then you're going to have about the same width that is on this. See that? And you can then come down a little bit, and this, I would assume, is 4 inches. Yes, it is. So you could come down, and center your other 2 inches, and cut your other hole, and you're going to have basically the same thing. Then you can score it in the middle. Now, I use these two different ways. I use them as made, where you fold them in half and you pinch, you know, whatever you want in. But I also use them like this, where you get a display of two, and then you can glue that down on the page. And it won't have a clear back, which in some cases that is what you want. Or you can put two of them together like this and leave them as two and use them like that. Now, you will see, because these are inexpensively made, sometimes your circles won't line up exactly, and you'll have to do some trimming. See, that one, if I get my circles even and I'm using it this way, they don't match up, whichever way I turn it. But you can, like I said, you know, just trim it off. The important thing is to get your circles even, so it doesn't look weird. But we're going to do a folded one, but we're also going to do a flat one. Okay, how am I going to decorate it? I am going to cut out 2 circles. I'll just go ahead and punch this one, and that way I can use it later and make one out of cardboard or cardstock. Just like that. And see, now I have my 2 that I can cut and make one. I left that gap a little big, but it will be all right down the road. And now, possibilities are endless. Usually what I do is I use stamps and inks. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm just going to take random stamps from my little collection over here of random stamps, and I am going to just stamp. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 different color stamps because I think it looks more interesting. So I'm going to use potting soil, and I'm going to use black. You can use whatever color suits your fancy. I just like these 2 in combination, so that's what I'm going to use. And then like I said, I'm just going to take random stamps and stamp around it. For this particular one, the first one that I'm going to show you is I'm going to put postage stamps on the inside. So I'm going to use more mail type stamps. But it doesn't really matter. It's all going to look good in the end. So I'm going to take this and put it in the potting soil. And I'm not worried about getting full stamps on here. And then I'm going to put it in the black. And do just partials here and there. One more. And then the reason I put that in there, obviously, is to keep the ink off of the acetate. Okay, what else do I have? Registered. these two I'm going to keep together, and so I don't care if for example, I'm going to stamp this registered and it's going to go across both of them. But if you are going to fold it in half, then you want to think about that when you're stamping. Okay, now what else do we have? We have received. And at this point, you can just kind of go crazy with whatever you want to stamp or put on here. Uh-oh, I smeared that one. Now, that's one thing that you need to watch out for, is because these are kind of slick. And so, it's going to take them a minute to dry. And, let's see if I can get that off. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Yes, the allergies are still killing me. Now, I can probably fix that. I should have. And I forgot they were slick. But you can take, that's on it, your sanding disc. There it is. There's nothing you can't fix in junk journaling. Remember that. We'll just take that right off. And we'll do it again. And this time we won't slip it all over the place. Maybe. There we go. That's better. Okay, what else do I have? Oh, I have this. It says letter parcel. So let's see if I can get at least where it says letter down here at the bottom. Okay, I think I'm satisfied with that one. Whoops, dropping. So now we will let that dry for a minute and we'll decorate a different one. I can't put a heat gun to this. I mean, I could around the edges, but if I put a heat gun, it's going to melt my acetone, or acetate. So I don't want it to do that. So while that's drying, we'll do another one. And we'll do one with a different theme. And we'll do one that folds in half. So if I have this one and it folds in half, I'm actually, that one folds even. I'm going to put my circled in here, and this one I'm going to sand before I even start, which is what I should have done on the other one, but I didn't. And if you're going to use oxides, you definitely want to sand first, because the oxides won't stick at all. The archival will eventually dry. Now this one we're going to make a little bit more grungy. And how I'm going to do that is, and it doesn't matter on the back because I'm not going to decorate the backs, which you obviously can do if you want to. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I am going to take my little crackle stamp here. And I used to have a smaller one of these, but actually I'm going to do that at the end because that'll need to dry. Alright, so what are we going to stamp on this one? Let's do... Let me grab my... Okay, this is Creative Expressions, and it's a sample stamp, and it is French script. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my circle in there, and then I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp the whole thing at one time, and I'm going to use this shadow gray. I just got this, and I absolutely love this color. It's a different option from just brown or black. So we'll ink this up. And we're just going to go over the whole thing. Just like that. I may have to pause you guys a minute so I can blow my nose. Let me do that. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I would rather pause you guys and do that than you have to hear me sniffing the whole time. Okay, so now we have our script everywhere. So let's ink all the way around the edges. And I'm going to use walnut stain for that. And it gives, you can see, it gives it a really nice grungy look. And then I'm going to take my vintage photo and I'm going to take one of the makeup brushes and I'm going to lightly put my circle back in here, go over the rest of it, just so that it's not going to be white in the end. Okay, so there's that one. And let's see if this one is, yep, that one is now dry. So I'm going to go over it with the vintage photo now. Put my little circles in. And go around this one. the walnut stain. I'm going to bend it, get down in there so you can tell that there are two. Alright, so there's two examples. And for the last one, let's do one more fold in half one. First thing we'll do is sand it. You could also probably gesso these, or put some matte photo gel on there to get, you know, so that your inks will stick better, but I like grungy anyway, so sanding works for me. This one we're going to do in the color, just so you can see the difference. Okay. Oh, one more thing I wanted to do to the other one. Down, I forgot. Just about. I'm going to take my crackle stamp, and I want to take this potting soil, put some archival, and I'm going to put it just in the corner, and then I'm going to stamp the actual acetate, just like that. And what happens is, and I don't know if you can see that or not, it makes the acetate look like it's broken. So I think that's a really neat effect. Okay, back to what we were doing while that one dries. Hope I'm not confusing you guys. Wouldn't be the first time, I'm sure. Alright, this one, what do we want to stamp on this one? Let's do a floral. So I have this little Tim Holtz stamp. Where do my circles go? There's one of them. See, that's the hardest part of this project is keeping up your circles. I think I will ink the back of this. See? Ooh, squirrel. I see a squirrel. And, reminds me of Family Circle. Do you guys remember Family Circle in the Sunday Funnies in the paper? I always remember this one where she sent Billy, I think that was his name, to the store for a loaf of bread. And it shows how he walked, and it was like all over the neighborhood. And you know, he's petting dogs and everything else before he comes back with a loaf of bread from the store. It's kind of how I feel like my mind works sometimes. There we go. That's better. That way, if you don't glue it down and you put it in a pocket or something, it has a more finished look on the back. Okay, so there's two. So let's do the third one. first thing I'm going to do is stamp my flower. Sorry, I'm using all these ink pads trying to keep my lids on them. I'm going to do it like that, I think. Where's my... won't fit on this one. Good enough, I think. If your stamps won't stick to your pad, if you'll put a little smidge of glue stick on there, they'll stick, and then you can wipe off the back of your stamp and you can clean it off your glue block or your acrylic block, so you're not really hurting anything by doing that. So let's do one this way. And did I sand this one? Yeah, I think I did, didn't I? Lord, can't keep up with what I'm doing here. Let's do one this way. And then let's do alternating sides. Let's do the alternating sides in the gray this time. So we'll do this one. Yeah, like that. And then I think we'll add something else. What do we want to add? Let's see. Let's get... Nope. That's one I just had. Grabbed the wrong one. This is Signatures from the Past, I believe. Yep. Creative Expressions. Let's see. I'd like to do another circle. What's the circle say? Yeah, that'll work. That's the specimen. And I'm doing this in the black and the brown. And then I feel like I need a little number. Oops, it's sticking to me. Is that a number? Yeah. And let's do one more in the black. And then maybe again right here. Okay, so there's that one. Now let's ink up the edges on that one and put our finished photo on there. Oh, I said we were going to use some color, didn't I? Okay, we can do that. Let me get my edges. You can tell I'm drawn to neutrals because my mind automatically goes neutrals on these. Alright, so let's do maybe a little bit of like, let me get my, nope, that's not it. I think this is it. My little finger doubles that already have ink on them. Alright, so put my thingy puppies back. Just go in with a little bit. I think this has got like speckled egg or maybe no, I'd say it's probably speckled egg, if I had to guess. Just real lightly. Let's try something a little brighter. I don't want it to be too bright. Yeah, that's going to work better, I think. Oops. Throw it across that desk. Okay, so there is one with some color. Let's bring in that edge a little more. Alright, so there's 3 different versions. One we're going to fold in half. This one you can fold in half too, for that matter. And then this one that I want to keep flat. Now, let's see what we're going to do on the inside. And I'll keep my little templates for when I make some more. I'll file it away with my extra pieces, my stock over here, and then I'll have them. Okay, so what are we going to do? Oh, another thing that I wanted to do, we'll do it on, see, we'll do it on this one. You have to be careful because dust gets on that acetate really easily. So I'm going to get some alcohol ink. I'm looking for the right one. Give me just a second. Okay, I'm going to use butterscotch. I'm sure, I don't know if y'all can hear me. I got butterscotch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit on my dauber, and then I'm going to tap it. Actually, I'm going to put it on the acetate, and then I'm going to tap it, because if I can get it, the dot to go in the right place. There we go. And then I'm just going to kind of tap it around. Just like that, and then give it a minute to dry. And that's just going to make it look like old cello, or you know, that it's yellowed over age. Let's do this just a little bit and make it dry a little quicker. Alcohol ink dries really quick. So, yeah, I think that's going to be good. And it's already dry. And then you can take your sanding tool and just sand it a little bit. And you're good to go. You got a nice, kind of like aged little look. I don't know if you can see that. See? Sand it a little more. I think I need a new sander on my thing. I think I have worn this one out. Just kind of get the dust off. Okay, so now we have even a grungier look, and I may make it even more grungy by putting some splatters, because you know me, I can't ever have too much grunge. Because why? And I might even put some scorched timber on here just to darken it up even more on the edges. Find the right dauber. Oops. Here I go, knocking things over. Coming up a little bit higher in some spots, and just on the edges and others. Okay, now we're getting grungy. So all I want to do is cut myself a background to use of some kind of interest. I think in this case, I'll just use, what do I want to use? I think I'm just going to use a piece of tea-dyed paper because I'm going to put post stamps in there. And do that top line again because I got it. Alright, so now I'm going to cut inside of the lines that I drew, just inside, because I traced to the outside, so if I cut just to the inside, it should work just fine. Okay, now I'm going to pick a couple of stamps. And I'm going to pick one of the more neutral colors since we're doing kind of a grungy look. He's got these colors and these. Or maybe I will do one or brighter. Alright, Tammy, you don't have all day to pick out 2 stamps. Do I want green? Green's kind of cool. That won't work with my butterscotch. Do like the way the green looks. Come on, just pick one. Can't be looking all day. Oh, but you can. I mean, they all look fine, except for the ones that are the same color. I am going to kind of go with this brown color, though, I think. I'll just keep it neutral. Okay, so now I'm going to figure out, like, if this is my background. Let's see if I can get this lined up right. So if I put these down, sorry, I'll move up where you can see me. If I put these down where I want them, this would be a lot easier if they weren't stickers. I should have backed them and cut them out because they're sticking to my fingers. I could have put them on my closed too. That's probably what I should have done and got some of the sticky off so they weren't so sticky. And I also didn't check to see if I'm putting them upside right. Yes, I lifted it up. They are right. Okay, so stick there, please. Okay, I'm gonna rub it on my pants leg. So I can at least maybe get it off my finger. Okay, now let's lay this down. We're gonna have one shot of this. Do it this way. There we go. It's pretty straight, I guess. There probably was an easier way to do that than the way I just did it, but then that will go there, and we'll glue it on. We'll have our first one done. And I did end up gluing that on upside down, but I don't think it really matters. I mean, because my stamps are going all the way around, so. Alright, so we're going to let that one dry. Alright, this one that we're going to put it inside, let's do some lace. That is another option for putting inside these, and I think it's just gorgeous when you do that. But if you put some lace in here, like that, and then you can put something out here, which, let me get my lace in there and I'll show you. Scissors, scissors. But any kind of wider lace that has a pretty pattern, you can put in here. I think it just makes it really pretty. And can be used in several different kinds of journals. Oops. Still didn't cut that. Okay, glue it shut. And under normal circumstances, I would probably use Fabri-Tac to do that, but I'm trying to hurry so I can show you as many options as I can. Another thing that I have done is I have put grommets in these. You can very easily put grommets in them. I've also just stapled them shut with a tiny attacher. Depending on what you have in them, I think that works really well. This one, as a matter of fact, I think I am going to staple just because I don't have time to wait on it to dry before I move on. But yeah, the tiny attacher works really well on these. Okay, now what I'm going to do is check my time. Okay, we're good, I think. I'm going to put these little flowers with the bird, and I'm going to put it on the outside. Just like that. Have to decide how many I want to use. I think I'll just put that one there. And then I have these little die cut eggs, and I'm going to stick those and actually these eggs probably are out of proportion. I may have to use the other bird. So it looks kind of out of proportion to me. Where's my other bird? This one. Kind of like that. So let's put these on. And there's just enough of a lip there that you can add stuff like this. And it won't make it stick out. So it looks kind of cool. Okay, so there's that one. Isn't that cute? And you can do several of these. Like if you did 2 or 3 of them, you could do like a lace sample, fabric sample thing in your journal. I think, did I say this already? I've done a winter one where I put snowflakes, different shapes of snowflakes in it, to make it look like a snowflake specimen slide. Okay, this one, I just want to show you several options, and then, you know, I'm not sure which one I'll end up doing, but you can do butterflies. Let me put this on something you can actually see it. So if you wanted to do butterfly die cuts, you could put butterflies in there. Really cute. Make it like a specimen slide. You can do flowers. Like these are little flower die cuts. Also really cute. You can do mushrooms. I've done mushrooms in them for like fall journals or botanical journals. That also looks really cute. You can actually do coins if you wanted to do real coins. You could do little bees if you're doing a bee journal. If you did bees, what I would do is I would get a honeycomb stamp or a honeycomb stencil and put some honeycomb on here and maybe even on the acetate. I think that would be real cute. Yeah, the bees are cute. They're one of my favorites. You can do paper flowers, like if you have flowers that have dimension, it will do that. And like I said, because there is a lip here, you can usually do that without adding, you know, added dimension to the what you're already going to have from the coin thing. You can do fabric, like we were talking about. Like this is feed sack fabric. So if I wanted to feature feed sack fabric or Christmas fabric or, you know, something like that, then I could put my fabric pieces in there. Like that. I think that's real cute. Not particularly with the stamping that I did on this one, but you get the point. What else? What else? You can do numbers if you just want big numbers in there. You can also, how I did this with the bird, you can do it with a little tiny Tumholtz paper dolls. Let me see if I've got one of those handy. And you could make them like this lady. Whoops, don't drop. Here, you could put her like here, and then put, you know, whatever. Say you wanted to put her, and then you wanted to put flowers on the inside. And you could put script behind that. So let's do that. Do I have any nice script? Here's some bookkeeping ledger. So let's say we put this there. That's probably not enough. Not enough script. That might be alright. Something like that. And then put the flowers. Like that. That's quite nice. And then you can make it a tag as well. You could cut it back and then, you know, put a tab or something on it. You can also make them pockets if you want to. I've done that in the past. If you want to make a solid cardstock back, glue it just top, bottom, and one edge, then you can make a tag that would slide in and out. I don't have anything that small, I don't think. You can make them a hidden paper clip if you wanted. I don't have anything that could be a tag nearby. This isn't quite wide enough, but for example, if this was my back, then you could make a tag that would slide in and out here. You could also have a tag that would slide down this way, which would be rather cool. So, yep. Endless, I'm telling you. So I'm going to wrap it up here for today. Let me know what you think. And if you have any questions about the process, or if I skipped something that you feel like you need to be clarified, just let me know in the comment section and I'll get back to you. But like I said, very easy, very versatile, very inexpensive in my opinion. Even less expensive if you have a whole bunch and can make it, you know, make them yourself with the hole punch and the cardstock. But yeah, really easy, really simple. So again, let me know what you think, and I will be back. I guess I'll be back tomorrow with the next letter in the ABC challenge. Until then, I hope everybody has a good evening, and I'll see you then. Bye.